Ouch! That must have hurt. This Vista X, it's about 3 pounds in weight, 16 kilohertz, high frequency. It's analog, it's got no meter to look at. 7 rotary controls, including ground balance and threshold. 2 triggers for left and for right-handed operation. What you do is you push it forward into the alternative discrimination. There are 2 discrimination circuits. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at the Vista X on a variety of sites with the octagon coil, which is 9 inches by 11. That's the footprint. And we also have a small round 5x7. Very, very nice little coil. Great for very trashy, contaminated sites like parks and for river foreshores, where we're going to go tomorrow. Let's start by having a look at the Vista X. There's the control box, and there are the optional accessory covers. We come to the fascia itself. We have our controls there, you can see them all. And then lovely little S-bend here. And it's really light to handle, as it's only about 1500 grams all told. The coil cable connector is a fabulous piece of work of art, part plastic, part metal, and we have the little ubiquitous red X there. It's got a really fabulously thick coil cable as well that will probably never perish or crack or diminish in performance. And then we have these carbon fibre rods, and they're actually beautiful to behold, very, very shiny, and they're holding up well, not scratched or anything. And then we have the what they call the octagonal coil. And there's the red X again for Vista X, and it comes with a coil cover. That's fairly easy to remove and put back on again, because you need to do that every so often. The target that is giving me an accept, wonderful accept, except now I'm going to do the sideways trick again here. And that positive has changed to a reject. Here's that side action. So we get a positive that way and a negative there. And it's not ferrous at all, it's the ubiquitous square pull tab. That is one possible method to identify pull tabs before you dig them out of the ground at all. And the way I have my discrimination set up today is to accept euros, but partially reject on these square pull tabs and still retain sensitivity to gold targets such as large rings. Now, I'm not saying it's bulletproof, it mightn't work all the time, but if it works some of the time, isn't that worth it? So how about that? Positive one way, sideways on, we get that rejection we want. So just to give you a small demo here, I have a pull tab and a gold ring sitting on a log. Now with some preset discrimination, I'm just going to cross over the 2 of them. Now engage my alternative disc, and alternative disc is still on. So there's no need to engage the sideways RX winding if you don't want to. Another high tone here now. Let's verify on the edge. That's good enough for me. Don't think I'll have to dig too deeply because it was nice and loud. Just waiting to see a flash of a coin or something. Got a scratch there. And there it is. There's my €2. This is a classic accept reject signal here. Got that high tone. Then we get the low tone immediately. And I think that's a positive hit. Let's go alternative disc, push the right trigger forward. It's accepting. Now take my finger off that and let's do the side kick. Okay, that's definitely a coin, I'd say. Pinpoint to where it starts. Let's come into it. Right there under the X. We won't have to dig too far. We should be able to see it. There she blows, I can see it already. See the flash of gold here already. So the detector was right. Fantastic. I'm actually after moving to the stubble field. I got to pick up the Vista here. I'm using the rain covers because of the saturated ground. I don't want to get the speaker wet. So I've ground balanced, and my settings are kind of similar to what they were earlier. Sensitivity, discrimination, gain. Iron volume is up though, because there's probably a lot of iron in here. I can't really detect in a full sweep because the stalks are still a bit high. Getting a nice little short hit here now. Second disc. So I think this is worthy of investigation because it could be a small button or a coin. And see what's causing our little disturbance. Because, and I have it here, copper, actually it's a broken buckle I think, or is it a key? It's just a small little artifact. Could be a key of some kind, but not a bad little target. Definitely old, it's got some age to it. Probably 1800s or thereabouts. But yeah, the first find from the stubble field. Usual one here now. Very loud, clacky. That's past my second test because I don't think it's deep. Seems to be in the middle of the little sod here. Actually tiny. Looks like a little tiny button. Whoops, dropped it. Nice little button. Again, probably 1800s or there. And we have the small coil. So we're in action here between the stubble rows because it is kind of difficult to get a good sweep in between these rows. So I'm not looking for depth or anything here. What I'm looking for is sharpness, clarity, ease of detection, because I'm looking for small things that are probably in the folds of the earth, not buried too deeply, hopefully. So I'll probably get away with turning up the sensitivity even more. It'll make a noise now. Oh, it didn't. Okay. So let's turn it up slightly more. Now the detector will probably get a bit more chirpy. Still good. You can see the small coil here is pretty good for getting in between the stubble rows if you have to. If you hit a good patch and you're trying to interpret or interrogate as many signals as you can find in a small area. So it's far more maneuverable than the 11. Now here we can see the beauty of the small coil in action. A bit better than the bigger one. We're a few inches off the ground and we're getting a good hit. We're about 4 or 5 inches off. This is second disc, and now this is my edge. My edge detection. So I'm using that to pinpoint and to verify. This actually seems like quite a big target according to the pinpointer. So we could be dealing with anything here. Getting a good hit there. I think it's large. As you can see, that find turned out to be what looks like a screw cap, and you know, that's fairly deep for the small coil, I think, but it's a big object too, so it's all relative. At Industrial River foreshore, we're going to have a look at the Vista X today in this short stretch of mud. See what we can find. Ground balance the Vista to the mud here. As you can see, it's fairly to the left. My sensitivity is 30, so This is the beauty of the small coil in a place like this, to get in amongst the rocks and the mud. And here's a piece of iron. You can see that. So we'll wander along and see can we find anything. Let's have a quick look at where we're going. We're just going to follow along this muddy line here. Sounds nice. So we're actually going to dig this one. The tide is turning here now. So we're going to take a bit of mud here. Whoops, you hear that squelch there? Turn it over. I don't think it's that deep. Yep, it's there, all right. So we'll see what we got. Dirty business. And this is what we have here. That's definitely a piece of an old buckle. So fair dues. This little thing really works. Just as I'm walking past here, there's this handle from an old, what they call a Bellarmine jar, just lying here on the mud waiting to be picked up. Something being disked out there. But the coil is wonderful. There's a piece of lead, I can see it on the ground. Just a scrap piece of a strip of metal there. That's no good to me today. A lot of iron signaling there. Let's just go into the water. So a slow sweep speed is definitely advantageous here. We're discriminating iron under the water there. Something breaking through the discrimination there. Back onto the dry, well, semi-dry. They're positive here now. Second disc, edge on. So we're going to dig that one for sure. Again, it's probably not deep. So we got it that time. So we shift the action over here now to our pile of mud, and we go sift. Just it could be a modern item. Sensitivity, good pinpointing and good verification in the sideways with the receive side of the coil winding. Well, what do you think about that? The Vista is quite a capable detector, isn't it? With the combination of the two coils that I used throughout that video. And there are a couple of little tricks you can use, like you can use the second discrimination, you can use the coil on this edge on the RX winding to determine the accuracy of the target that's underneath your coil, to determine if it's ferrous or non-ferrous. So it's fairly straightforward, as you saw. And there are more videos to come. And as always, thanks for watching.